April 2nd, we met.
We met. So in a 12-hour period in my life, I met Chrissy online and I almost got carjacked in the same 12-hour period of time. So I had, as I said, been watching YouTube vloggers like Rike and Gio and all these others, and I made a trip to the Philippines the week before it was shut down for COVID. I came for 6 days. I went to Cebu City, and then I went on an excursion to swim with the whale sharks. I went on a date with a Filipina. Very difficult to have conversation. It was, you know, she was very, very shy. But I left. I was doing an around the world trip, and just as a reference, I've been to 67 countries, maybe 68, and I just got done touring South America, and I was in Chile, Puerto Montt, Chile, the night I met Chrissy online, back on April 2nd. And now we're here in Cagayan de Oro, and we're engaged, and we're living in a house we rent, which is really interesting because the dogs are normally barking, and my head is sort of exploding because we've been out looking at other places to live. We kind of love this house. It's just the dogs are, in fact, you're going to hear a dog barking before we finish recording probably. Anyway, I had been to Cebu City. I'd been to the Philippines just for 6 days. I was doing a circumnavigation of the globe. Sounds very exotic, but I've done that 2 times. You know, I've traveled internationally on business, and as part of this channel, I'm going to give a lot of travel tips on how to book tickets and how to avoid problems and how to navigate your way through many different types of travel and booking Airbnbs and things like that. But, you know, I had been watching the vlogs. I'd gotten a Filipina subscription, and that was a really big, you know, almost immediately I met a bunch of scammers. We have a joke, buy me load. Say it.
Buy me load.
Buy me load. You know, you meet a girl, you video chat her, and she says, buy me load, immediately. So my first experience online was just really awful. I spent $100 in Robinson's grocery money, and whatever it's called. What is it called?
Coupon.
Yeah, whatever. And, you know, I sent her a picture. I had a really funny photo of my dog, and maybe I'll insert it here. And I used to work for a aerospace defense contractor, and we only had one client, the CIA, maybe 2, NSA. And, you know, I know how to do my research, and I'm a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes when it comes to, you know, investigation. And so I started drilling through her Facebook accounts, and you'll find that the average Filipina has multiple Facebook accounts, even like Chrissy has 2, one for her 4-year-old son and one for herself. And I found someone who was liking a lot of her posts from another, not her other Facebook account, but there was this one person. It wasn't really a man or a woman, it was just an account, and it was liking a lot of her posts, and I went to that person's account, and then from that account I linked over, and boom, the profile picture of this other account was my dog's picture, the funny picture of my dog. So she had shared my dog picture with whatever, maybe it was her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, baby daddy. Anyway, that was sort of typical for the experience. You know, you just feel like you want to help them because they're living in such poverty, and you're just getting scammed. And so it's kind of typical for a Filipino to be talking to 2, 3, 4 Westerners, because, you know, the Western guys, a lot of them never show up, especially the guys in their late 50s. They're not yet retired. At best, they can get 2 or 3 weeks. Am I boring you, honey?
No. I'm just
Maybe you should cut in here. So basically, I started drilling into the Facebook pages of the people I would meet, and I was always disappointed. I would find something in these Facebook pages that made me suspicious, that maybe they had been to resorts with other Western men previously, maybe they weren't really the province girl I was looking for. maybe there were tattoos that I was a little suspicious. There was just a lot of disappointment. And after like 6 weeks, I just gave up and went back to my normal life in the West. And then during COVID, I was actually single for 8 months during COVID. And I dove in, and I was like, I kind of broke up a relationship, a long-term relationship. And I was like, I would have gone to the Philippines and put boots on the ground and I was just like, I'd been all over Asia. You know, after my 27-year marriage, I had dated exclusively Asian women, a Japanese woman, a Korean woman, a woman from Taiwan. And I was like, you know, I hadn't really given the Philippines a real opportunity. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the Philippines, but it was COVID, I couldn't go. And, you know, Chrissy's a certified teacher, you couldn't teach. You know, it was, everybody knows, you know, that long-term relationships were, you know, the order of the day. And so I went back online, and long story short, you know, it's kind of similar situation. I got into a long-term chat with a gal from Negros Occidental, and after like a month I said, gee, I'm starting to, you know, grow fond of this girl. And I went and I looked at her Facebook page, and you know, there was nothing there. And then her sister was a friend of hers on her Facebook page, right? So I looked at her sister's Facebook page, and then there was kind of nothing suspicious there. But her mother was friends of her sister, but not a friend of the girl I was talking to. So I went to her mother's Facebook page, and what do you think I found? 8 months earlier, there was a Western man who had come to visit her hometown, the whole family at the beach, promise ceremony, she's engaged. So every day she was chatting me for an hour, she was chatting this guy for an hour, and she was engaged to this guy from like Pittsburgh or something. So that was like, poof, just another bad experience. And I've had it, I can't do it anymore, and I gave up. And so, this March 22nd, I left on a 75-day trip to South America and Europe, and you know, I subscribed to once again, and I decided I was going to go to the Philippines. So I was on my way to Cancun. From Cancun, I went to Lima. From Lima, Machu Picchu, unbelievable Machu Picchu, top 5 experience in the world. From Machu Picchu, I was on my way back to Lima, and then Santiago, Chile, and then I was headed to Patagonia, rugged, southernmost South America, traveling by myself. And here's where I'll get to the carjacking. And I went to Puerto Montt, which is northernmost Patagonia. You see the volcano, and I was going to rent a car, and it was just a rainy day. And as luck would have it, you know, I'm not renting a car with these weather conditions. So I'm in my hotel room, and I'm on, guess who I meet?
Miss Philippines.
And I'm like, I had gotten like 400 incoming emails in the first 5 days. So this was day 5. I was in Cancun when I started. And, you know, it was typical. You know, a lot of people, if you video chat them, it turns out their complexions don't look anything like their pictures because they're using filters. You see a lot of women with these crazy eyebrows, and they're all scammers. And Chrissy has some kind of professional model eyebrows, and I was very suspicious when I first met her, because that's on these dating sites, the girls that are doing scams, but they always have these professional eyebrows. Anyway, I bump into Chrissy, and I'm like, holy crap, you know, my karma's not that good. It's like, is it possible that I could have won the lottery? Like, I can't believe that I bumped into Chrissy. And so I just dropped everything, and I gave her my 100% full attention. And ever since that day, my motto is don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. And you know, I've been looking for yellow flags, baby yellow flags, red flags, and I just haven't seen one. I just haven't seen one. I'm still looking. But I'm telling you, I must have won the lottery. And I tell my relatives back home, you know, if you see this sparkly thing in the grass, you pick it up and you look at it, it's like, it's probably glass, but it could be a diamond. You don't want to throw it away. You put it in your pocket, you protect it, because what if it turns out to be a diamond? And so far, you know, everything I've seen, it's a diamond. Would you like to add something?
Yeah.
Because I'll just keep talking.
No, it's okay. Like, I love listening to this story back then because, you know, from your travel and until you met me in Cupid, and I love to listen to it again, and I like it when you share it to them, so it could be an inspiration to everybody.
I hope it's an
that
inspiration.
is looking, so it's not like maybe you will fail at first, second, third attempt on any online dating app, but we are the proof that there is really a possibility that you can meet someone.
Right, and we've joined like a expat group here in Cagayan de Oro. It's not extra large, you know, it's not like Dumaguete or, you know, Makati or whatever, but there are all these people that have been married like 12 years and 13 years and 10 years and 3 years, and there's other guys like me who like actually made it to the end zone. They've met like a real Filipina, like a province girl, like who maybe is educated. Like Chrissy speaks like amazing English because she's a teacher, and you know, it's very unusual. One of the things about the Philippines is they read English, everything's in English, but they get very anxious. They don't like to speak English. So for example, today we went out and met like 3 realtors. None of them wanted to speak English to me. They all spoke Visayan or Cebuano with Chrissy. They default to just not speaking English. Anyway, long story short, I met Chrissy because I was stuck because in Puerto Montt I couldn't go anywhere, and I had a great piece of salmon. You know, I walked around a little bit. And I met Chrissy, so I had an Uber pick me up. Here's my story. It's like zombies. It's like Train to Busan experience. In all my travels, 67 countries around the world. You know, I was an international VP for Raytheon. I went around the world. I've been a lot of places, and you know, I'm usually not out at 2 a.m. or anything like that, so it's always been safe, and I'm pretty smart about how I conduct myself. But I organized a 6 a.m. Uber, and it was 6 a.m. It's a little bit dark, not quite light, but not quite dark. The Uber picked me up at 6 a.m. and he's driving down the side street, and he pulls up to a red light.
Have you heard about the YouTube channel Fly Me to the Philippines?
From fandom.com. It is the 12th most viewed channel on YouTube.
Who am I to argue with Alexa?